Welcome at the new Beverrad RC video. Today we're doing two rigs all together. The Yikong 4107 Pro, Nissan Patrol, and it's very fitting that I took the MST TCR-FF out with me, the EK9 Civic Type R, with the XBL60 2500 kV engine in it, Revity H bobber. It's modeled after the real plates that is on this Civic. Let me pull up this motherfucker. Alright. You can see I said it wrong. 4 letters, 2 digits. Just like on the MST. So, let me pull this motherfucker up right now. Yeah. We're gonna test how fast it really is. First of all, I need my normal glasses, otherwise I won't see shit in a bit because the sun is setting. Is the plate readable? Not yet. Wait a second. I have a feeling that this engine swap will bring me up to 50 kilometers per hour on a 2S battery. Very neat. Anyways, before it had a MST M54 35 turn setup, which did on a 2SC NHL battery with 30C discharge, about 30 kilometers per hour or something like that, and on the Lipo HV DXF battery I have for my RC Drifter, it did 35. Given the fact that the XBL60 is basically a 3652 can 2500 kV, not sure about the pinion gear that is used because it's still the stock one. I think it's a 15 turn machine, maybe a 16 turn. I have to check that out properly, but for now I have something like, I swapped the XBL out of my Drifter into this because my Drifter has a censored combo right now, and those videos are already online. Well, part 1 is online, the night run isn't online yet because my internet's fucked up, but that's a whole another story. We're not here for this right now. We're gonna test the punch. In my opinion, the front wheels slip up way more than before, but I need to look out. If I slam it into those fucking dividers, I will wreck the vehicle. It's better to stay on the sides of the PNR Beverrad because there are no speed bumps. Anyway, maybe I have to relocate the Yikong with the camera, and then we're gonna properly measure the speeds. Well, now I grab the Civic, parked next to a real Civic. Alright, that's over there. Great. I mean, the Challenger I drove a couple of days ago, as of punching view on 2S, it's kind of similar, but being a drag racer made by Vico and not a front wheel drive touring car like this, it means the transition of the power and all that kind of shit, also the gearing, is way different. They're both purposely built for different tasks, but both platforms are very capable of reaching decent speeds. Let's keep it that way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Almost wrecked the fucker. That's not part of the plan. Still running the stock MST TE37 looking rims and street tires, but I am using a Dumbo RC DDF 350 because I didn't like the MST remote that was supplied with it. So there's that. I think this car does 50 kilometers per hour on 2S. It has decent punch. It accelerates decently as well, but it isn't. Whoa, what the fuck was that? Anyway, it doesn't feel like it's gonna kill itself. The servo on this car, and as well as on the Vico, which will get a different video, and I need to try that one over here as well. I will include that in the same video, so it's easier to look it up side by side. Anyways, the goal is, this vehicle has direct drive. It's maybe is seeable when I do. Yeah, I think so at least. With the original engine combo brushed, that wasn't really an issue, because when you booted that on 2S, yeah, you hear it scream like, but then it got grip. If I do that with this engine, it does it twice as long, and this isn't even a high kV engine. So I think that says a lot already. The next thing I will be getting for this car anyways is a ball diff. I need to put down power on both front wheels. That's a bad day. I also need to get lights for it, but that's for another day, because I don't know what I'm gonna do with this body at all. It can also be that I wreck the body when I stop filming, or in another test drive, or something like that, because I already crashed almost twice. And I also need to tune up the endpoints of the Savox servo. The Vico also has that, to comply better with the Dumbo RC remote. But I mean, if that's all, the Yikong also still has a battery in it. Well, I can't drive fast because I haven't locked up the camera onto the roof rack of the Yikong Patrol. The funny thing is, now you're gonna see the Civic in full. Not my Civic, but the actual Civic. It's kind of need to include that in the video already, but yeah. How closer I come to the Civic, the MST Civic, the worse you can see it, because the Yikong is almost 3 times as high in, yeah, you can see it. Basically you can see the the bonnet, and you see that the roof of the MST Civic is about the same height of the bonnet of the Yikong, and that even though they are both 10 scale vehicles. So yeah, that shows the big difference between a touring car chassis and a rock crawling scale platform, or how the fuck you call that. It's more of a performance oriented rig than a scale rig, depending on the model you're running, but I think you know what I mean. This car is also so fucking low to the ground, I don't even want to try it within the borough itself, because I'm quite sure I will be wrecking the fiberglass frame of it. It scrapes like a motherfucker if you hit something like yeah, like a rock or something like that. It also can get stuck on very low gutters and all that kind of stuff, so yeah. But the thing is, for a front wheel drive platform with open differential direct drive, it handles like a dream. Not really like a real EK9 Type R, because that also had a LSD and all that kind of stuff, just like the EP3 behind me. But that's for upgrade later on. Maybe I will take out this engine, because yeah, I don't have a Sky RC GPS module, otherwise we would have already got the results of the speeds I'll be driving here. Whoa. They almost kissed each other. Alright. Long story short, I'm thinking this thing does 50, not miles, kilometers. In miles that would be 30, maybe 35. The thing is, this isn't truly about acceleration and top speed. Well, it is a bit about acceleration, but the main thing is it is a touring car platform. It's also used for drift platforms because it's a semi-modular system. It has the direct drive in front, in this case, but with the drifters it has it in the rear. I don't know if the engine also goes to the rear then, but yeah, I'm not fussed about that. Let's see the battery station. Look, you can see it. It already is scratched up like a motherfucker. And that's only when I run it in the park nearby my house. You maybe can see it on the threads here that yeah, it is open diff, and it will bite off some groove eventually. That's not the worst part. But when I'm gonna look for new tires and rims, I need to take off those MST calipers, because also in the drift scene those are considered a headache. Well, I'm using the original tires for now. They're not very grippy, but they're better than the Tamiya mini tires and the Tamiya normal road tires, in my opinion. They hook up way better with similar performing cars, or thereabouts. And for a, yeah, you can hear it scrape from time to time. That's the main issue with this platform. A Tamiya MO5 lays not this low to the ground. It does lay low to the ground, but not as low as this. Even still, I'm not gonna drive my MO5 over here, because that's a race spec with racing parts, fully aluminium. That's even worse than having this fiberglass frame scratch up like a motherfucker. But the thing is, you don't see many front wheel drive RCs running in the Netherlands, let alone tune them, apart from the Tamiya MO5 and some competition rigs. Maar ja. Wow, niet meer zelf voor mijn kankerflikker rijden. What the fuck is dat? Dat zag er niet goed uit in ieder geval. Dat zag er niet goed uit. But that's exactly what I mean. Maybe it's a bump in the surface. Did I damage something badly? No, doesn't look like it. Yeah, some rubber rubbing onto the body, but yeah. Fuck it. Well, the funny thing at least is they're both brushless. They both have some details, but this is stock and this is semi-modded by me. The plates, engine swap, that's about it on the MST. But yeah, maybe I need a different pinion and I need to look how to mount this body, because as you can see at the rear, where on the real car would be the Type R logo, I've put the TCR logo on there because that looks semi-scale-ish. You can see the rubber rubbing onto the body, and it doesn't eat up a lot of the paint. That it doesn't do, luckily, but it rubs off the, just like you see on the front wheels when they spin up with the open diff. That's annoying. That's very annoying. What's also annoying is that I can't tell you right now how fast this car actually is. That's an issue. I need to get that GNSS module and then run it like that. I also need a smaller camera to also run it like that. The other thing with this MST, maybe you could see it on the clip before, but it has a very unconventional way of dampening. It doesn't have shocks like the Yikong, that's for certain, but it does handle nicely. So is it a very big problem? I don't know, but I also don't know how to upgrade it, because putting aftermarket shocks, that isn't an option, I think. I need to do a look with different kind of stuff. The springs or something, if they have something like that, because the springs are yeah, how do I explain this? They're basically directly behind the wheel within the steering arms. I also need cones to make a makeshift circuit or something like that, because this freestyling doesn't do the handling department of this MST really justice, you know? Going way too wide, and now I'm overcorrecting it, causing it to lift off oversteer, just like a real yeah, a real stiff and light front wheel drive hot hatch, like this Civic, like the EP3, like a Peugeot 205 GTI or a 206 RC, something like that. Let's do a makeshift course, then we're gonna back to the Yikong and do some trailing. Let's put out a course, I think. We're going slowly for the first round and then we're gonna ramp up some speed. Gonna turn so. Let's do a figure 8. It's easier to maintain in the eyesight because the tire marks are already here for it. With the direct drive open diff, it will lose speed within corners or corner exits out, I suppose. Let me do another course. This isn't working. Come. Holy shit. Oh, we still have to line it up. About here. Good enough. Sun is beginning to settle down, so I don't have very much time to keep continuing blazing with the MST. Whoa, almost. So I will put in some pinned throttle and some nice turns to get along with that, and then we'll stop the video with the MST TCR FF and we're gonna back to driving the Yikong. But I'm thinking at least 50 kilometers per hour, so 30 miles on a 2S battery, open diff, frame wise and pinion gearing wise fully stock. But even if it only does 50 kilometers per hour, it's still faster than my circuit weapon, which is a Tamiya MO5 Year Racing with a Suzuki Swift body onto it. But that's because that one is brushed. It runs a 21 turn engine or a 19 turn brushed engine in 2S, and that one does about 43 to 45 kilometers per hour on a 16 tooth pinion, that is. And that's because of the circuit racing regulations. Whoa, almost smacked it into the fucking van. It's scuffing it. It's a good thing this car has very good brake performance. Otherwise I would have wrecked it 100%. Okay, one last pull. And we're done. I don't see no damage on the actual body and on the suspension and all that kind of shit. It is getting dirty and the tires are getting somewhat wear down, but still some scuff plating. And we're gonna run 3S in this car because I haven't done that yet. The 410, not the 410, godverdomme man. The 41, I'm gonna do that over, but anyways. The MST, I had some fun blasting it over here. Should do it more often. The biggest problem with touring cars and that kind of stuff is the speed bumps. The MST won't break in half over this. But if you have a short course, something like this, rally car maybe even, then it might work. This is the battery we're using with the XBL system. It's a great system, in my opinion. Lights have come on, so now we're gonna really end the MST video and we're gonna continue with the Yikong. 3S connected. Don't fuck up the ride, idiot. Okay, still safe. Fucking tackle. So 3S run with the 4107 Pro with the brushless engine opposed to the brushed engine in the 41015, which I usually ran with a 3S in most of the rounds. So holy shit! How fucking fast is it on the 3S? My god. That's insane. That's fucking insane. Anyway, let's disregard those. So, dikke Porsche Cayenne. Anyway, let's disregard those Relalo bullshit, outrage and all that kind of stuff. Let's focus on the Yikong run. This is on 3S. I've got the diff locks on. I don't like to run high or switch between high and low gear yet. I just want to see how the power delivery is with this 2100 kV brushless FOC system. And on 2S I already thought it was a ripper, but on the 3S, mate. Oh, don't wreck it up, kankermogel. Anyway, it's quite fast for a crawler, I think. It has a lot of torque as well. I think it rips. It definitely can kick up dirt and it can climb some shit now. And for the price, I think it's a for the electronics at least it is a decent deal. If we're gonna look at longevity and such, I know for a fact the brushed unit did 105 kilometers trailing like this and flying on 2S, 3S, all the kind of shit with the stock servos, and after that I didn't trust the servos no more, but it held on 105 kilometers out of the box. I don't see a TRX4 do that, to be honest. So yeah, and keep in mind the brush unit is 220 euros and this is about 400. So yeah, it is quite a bit steeper, but you get way more tech, way more detail. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind also. The thing is, the 4107 Pro is a model that has released over about a year ago, I think, or within a year this year. Not quite sure how it was, but at least this is a older release than the 41015 I also have, because that came out in March or April, something like that. And I instantly bought it, because at first I wanted the 41011, the LC Toyota truck. This is way nicer. I like Nissan Patrols better, but that's a personal opinion. The fact is, yeah, when I was looking for a new crawler, the 41015 came out, and it has a Chevy C10 look from the 70s, 80s. And the bigger part for me was that it had a different front bumper opposed to the 41011, because that one would catch the front wheels onto the front bumper. This one doesn't have that, but it rubs the wheels in the wheel wells. And the 41015 rarely rubs its tires into that body's wheel wells. So yeah, and the tires are the same. Chassis is the same, only the electronics are way more advanced. Yeah, well, that was as expected, but anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, the wheel arches and the wheel wells. That's the main big difference between the 41015 and this. Yeah, scale details like transparent windows, scale interior with seats and all that kind of stuff. Lights, the dig function, which I haven't used at all yet. Still want to try that out, but I don't have any idea how smart that would be within the Boro, because yeah, everything I'll throw this at within my area, the 41015 could do with ease. So this will do it with ease as well. And the dig function is something that the 41015 doesn't have. So I don't need it over here. The other thing, comparing the two of them, is the fact that this car maybe needs smaller tires because of it rubbing the wheel arches, but not sure which one to get yet. They both have 115 millimeters wide tires. I was thinking maybe 110 or 105 millimeters for this, and maybe also needing some different rims, but we'll be looking into that anyways. Yeah, I don't know what to tell much about more, apart from the power disc. Oh. I mean, the brush unit had some torque and punch as well, but this is next level. And this battery is depleting fast, 5%, so I think when I'm done on this part of the tram tracks that are in maintenance right now, the camera will be turning off, and then we'll be editing the shit out of it. But I mean, this rig is a motherfucking beast. Oh shit, the battery is already at 2%, so I will be shooting this clip very quick. But yeah, 3S power. Holy shit, I hope that doesn't fuck up the locking diff servos. That's another difference between the 41015 and this one. The named one has, basically it has manual locking diffs, and this one has electrical diffs. So the camera will be turning off any moment now. See you in the next video.